Okay, so this is the kind of day we're having, folks. Now that we're live. Oh, Ryan, you entertain a lot of people. All right, everyone, welcome legitimately now to Downtown Jets Live. I'm Ryan McCarthy, one of your hosts of the Downtown Jets podcast, and I've got with me Dan, who is just as frustrated and sad as I am about the loss. Dan, how are we feeling?
Just as frustrated as sad as you are about this loss.
Oh goodness,
It's terrible. Today was a terrible, terrible day in Jetsland, and I imagine the next week is going to be terrible, terrible time in Jetsland. And there's doesn't seem to be any light at the end of this tunnel here in Jetsland. So, yeah, we're already in week 2, and we're already ready for the season to be over. Welcome to Jets Twitter.
Yeah, I had a revelation in church this morning, and I was listening to the sermon. I thought to myself, I was thinking about the rest of the day as my pastor is preaching. And I think to myself, why am I a Jets fan? What two words could I come up with to just define Jets fandom? And my answer were the two words that came up were excitable dread.
Excitable dread
because you look forward as a football fan. You look forward to every week. You look forward to seeing if your team's going to win, seeing how your team's going to perform, and then dread because you know how it's going to turn out.
You can pretty much take any synonyms of the two there, put that together, and that's probably be my answer too, actually. So excitable dread, yeah, it's probably about right. You always kind of have this feeling that the Jets are about to turn that corner, and it just still doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a frustrating life that is being a Jets football fan. At least having the Yankees. Oh wait, they lost today. Never mind. But we're gonna get into the Jets loss to the 49ers in just a moment. I watched some of the pregame, postgame stuff on SNY's Facebook page, and it's getting to a point where the team's starting to run out of excuses. Not just the team itself, not just every player, but the coaches too. You especially with Coach Adam Gase, it just seems like every other week there's an excuse after a loss, and he's starting to run out of excuses. And I think a lot of the fans are feeling that frustration, feeling that tired, just have that feeling of just we're done with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Gase take really any accountability very well since he got here, and having another double-digit loss added to his resume and to the Jets, where they played uninspired and lifeless, and it's just I mean, at this point now, Jets fans are over it. Like you don't have any more excuses that we haven't heard that would make you give you any more of a pass. Like whatever, I think at this point here, whatever hall passes you've had to this point, you've used up, and now it's time to like find some answers, or drastic changes need to happen sooner than later. And I think pretty much we're to the point now where it's very fair to wonder how much longer Adam Gase does stay the coach of the Jets. I mean, Chris Johnson can say whatever he wants to say, but I think there's no hotter hot seat, I think, right now in the NFL than Adam Gase. I mean, maybe Matt Patricia, but other than that,
Dan Quinn.
I guess, okay, yeah, Dan Quinn too can be close, but Dan Quinn's had some success with the Falcons, so it's just been a rough couple of years for him. You know, Matt Patricia hasn't done nothing with Detroit as long as he's been there as well. So I feel like, between those two, it's really a race just to who gets replaced first. And if the Jets and Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson are smart, they'll try and right this ship as quickly as possible and let Adam Gase and Dowell Loggins head onto the unemployment line and just finish out the year under somebody different with at least some pride. And let Jim Bob Cooter run the offense and see if that can help invigorate Sam any.
That's the thing too. Is just that it's one guy. It's Adam Gase run the offense. It's like, okay, you run the offense. You're also the quarterback's coach. There's too many things on your plate. Like, why could you take one thing off your plate? Let Sam play the calls. Let Sam call the plays. Excuse me. Let Sam do all the calling on the plays on the field. Why does it have to be him running the offense and run the quarterback's coach?
I
And when this offense is so anemic, it's an insult to anemia to call this offense anemic.
it's really ugly. It's just the most passive, just uninspiring, just boring offense in football at the moment, and they just show a complete lack of faith in one another to create anything longer than 6 yards away from Sam.
Yeah,
it's pretty pathetic.
I mean, they did have some initial success running the ball. We'll get to that in just a moment. We've got a couple comments from our guy Vince from downtown sports. Vinny Plu, agree with us. What's going on, Vince? Yeah, the guy I'm pretty much sure he's referring to Adam Gase as they refuse to take accountability for anything, and I wholeheartedly agree.
It's just blind stubbornness at this point. It's just whatever's in his head is what's going to happen, is what's going to work. And if it doesn't work, it shouldn't fall on him because it works in his head. Right. It all works in his head.
Yeah, and
it's just really just awful. What does he have on the Johnsons? I mean, what does he have on the Johnsons? I want to know.
I bet he was
going to hack into him. I want to know.
I bet he was a leaker in the State Department that said stuff about Woody Johnson from the UK ambassadorship.
Yeah, I want to know.
He's a leaker.
Gase got something on these Johnsons because there's absolutely no other reason why he should still be here.
Yeah, and he also says he likes Greg Williams as interim head coach.
I think that's the obvious replacement. Should Gase actually get the boot?
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
It's got to be the obvious candidate with Jim Bob Cooter moving up at the OC, and then just playing out the season and just hoping everybody stays healthy and just continually build up the talent and going into next offseason. And it'll be a lot of fun to play the game of will the Jets – I mean, if the Jets end up with a number one pick, I mean, it's going to be one insane offseason.
It's going to be
one insane offseason for the Jets to have the number one pick this year. It'd be brutal, and unfortunately we're going to have to write about it because there's going to be nothing else to talk about.
Hey, I wrote about the fact that a lot of Jets fans are saying, yeah, we should tank for Trevor Lawrence. We should tank for Trevor Lawrence. Listen, why?
No.
Why? Well, what are you going to do with Sam Darnold? He'll be in his fourth year of a contract with a fifth-year option. Why? What are you going to do with him?
Yeah, at this point, his trade value would be for peanuts if he actually went for it. Yeah, and your fourth round quarterback in James Morgan would be for a waste. And then then you would lose out to add high-end talent at other spots that desperately need it, like edge rusher or corner. And it's just, to me, it's just like, we know Sam has the talent. Just stop letting Gase be the one to try and procure it.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point,
get somebody else out there to do it and take on his fifth-year contract and let Sam really just work in an offense that's truly friendly to him. Get him get him a dominant receiver, get Chris Herndon working, because whatever the hell is going on right now with Chris Herndon is just, I don't know at the moment. I mean, that's something I think I'm going to write about this week, is kind of just the ghost that is Chris Herndon so far.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that need to change, and they just don't have any talent or playmakers. And it's just so abundantly clear how bad the Jets are.
Well, Vince just chimed in again. He says, let's see, no, Sam Darnold is capable. He has a bad O-line and a bad receiver core. I kind of disagree with the bad O-line, but he definitely doesn't have a lot of talent around him.
He's definitely
especially the receiver.
He definitely had a bad O-line last year, and he didn't really have a great one in his first year here either. So, he's been hamstrung. So far, this definitely looks like the best O-line he's had to this point.
Yeah, especially with Beck. I mean, Becton had another great game today. He was pancaking games. He was pancaking guys.
Yeah, Becton looks fantastic for a 21-year-old rookie. I mean, he looks wonderful. I mean, we can't accept anything more, and he certainly looks like he's going to be a building block moving forward. Again, today's weak spot looks like the interior within Greg Van Roten, again, specifically being the one that just kind of it just seemed like anytime there was a big issue with the O-line, GVR had some hand in it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just lack of ability or just lack of chemistry and communication still rearing its ugly head with him. But they definitely need to shore up some things too.
Yeah, there's gotta be a. Well, as our coach always says, we gotta watch tape.
Got to watch tape.
Gotta watch tape.
You got to watch
That's the only way
tape.
you're going to improve. Okay.
We've got to watch the tape. We'll see what happens. Got to watch the tape. Got to see what happens.
I after that post game presser, I wanted to drink an entire. I want to drink a bottle of bourbon just to wash that out of my brain.
If we didn't have to do this live podcast, I bet I probably would have.
Well, I still gotta cook dinner too. But so anyway, let's go over the game quarter by quarter. First of all, the one thing that the Jets had going for them, at least in the Northeast, it was a beautiful day for football. 60 degrees. Yeah, 60 degrees, a crisp, clear, beautiful, late summer day, ruined by this effort. First play from scrimmage, 80-yard touchdown for Raheem Mostert, who was, again, as I mentioned on this week's podcast, plug, he was on the Jets roster, their practice roster, for all of 1 week in 2017. 1 week.
A whole 7 days. He was a New York Jet, and it was a proud 7 days in Jets history. Proud.
Yep. So that was an awesome start to the game. The first offensive series for the Jets. On the bright side, no 3-and-outs. They didn't have a 3-and-out.
Small victory.
Yeah, small victory.
Very, very small, minute victory in the chaos that was today.
Baby steps. Steps. Now, San Francisco's second series, the Jets defense forces a 3-and-out. Quinn Williams getting his first sack of the day. But Jimmy G gets hurt. He twists his ankle. My goodness, I can't talk. I'm so frustrated. I can't talk. He twists his ankle, and you see him limp off the field. And you think to yourself, this could be a game changer.
Didn't matter. When you watch the game, ultimately it didn't matter because all he had to do was just find the open guy in the soft zone and hit him because that's all he did. That ankle did nothing to hamper. Maybe the only thing it did was rear them back from taking some shots, but they didn't even need to do that. It was just play the ball control offense because it was working.
Yep, it
was working.
So the Jets get the ball back with the second series of the game. They get a really good field position. They start their own 39-yard line. Sam Darnold scrambles for a first down, and then a weird series of occurrences happen. Nick Bosa goes down. He's carted off the field. Solomon Thomas goes down. He's also carted on the field. So on 2 consecutive plays, the defense on the 49ers lose their 2 best players who were playing that day. What a weird set of circumstances. Have you ever seen that before?
I can't recall anything where that's ever happened before, and like that, where 2 players of such major reliance go down on consecutive plays. Both have looked which to be of the long-term, potentially season-ending variety. So it was just very freak. It's very unfortunate for the San Francisco 49ers, who had all hopes of contending. And while they are still 2-0, they've been hit so hard by the injury bug already that I don't know how they keep the momentum going.
They're 1-1.
Oh, excuse me. That's right. I'm sorry. They are 1-1. They got handed to them by Arizona. You're right. Excuse me. They got handed to them by Arizona.
That's okay. That's okay.
So forgiven. Even worse for them then. They don't even have the benefit of being 2-0 at this point. They don't even have a buffer. Arizona looks amazing right now if anybody's watching.
Yeah. So after Solomon Thomas leaves the field, gets a score off the field by a cart, Jets give up a 3-yard loss on their run play. They do a draw play on third, and they get a sack, and they're sacked. And then on a 3rd and 18, they run a draw play.
Gosh, spectacular play calling.
Great play calling.
Exactly what I would have done in that situation would be to be as passive as possible and be as boring as possible and just play to lose. It's exactly what I would do if I was the Jets head coach, because that seems to be the Jets' MO, is play to lose.
Sad. But on the bright side, 13-play drive, at least it ends in points with a field goal.
Small victories.
All right, so third series for San Francisco. They got another long TD run by Mostert, but fortunately, flag on the field at their 10-yard penalty gets called back. All right, so the Jets have a good chance, and then they get first down on the 1st and 20. Jimmy G finds Ayuk for his first NFL catch, and he gets a first down.
It's kind of the stuff that happens to the Jets.
Yeah, and then the theme of the day continued after that. The Jets give up a first down and a 3rd and 5. We switch over to the second quarter. Same thing happens again. Give up a first down on 3rd and 9. On 3rd and 8, they give up a touchdown.
I mean, it's just at that point there, it's just, when you're Greg Williams, you just gotta you gotta think something's got to change. Your third down strategy is clearly not working because your pass rush isn't there. Quinnen himself had an amazing game, but he's the only one. And he was able to be constantly in the backfield and with hits and sacks and so forth. But other than that, very little else was working as far as the pass rush. They had, between Garoppolo and Nick Mullins later, they had as much time as they really needed to throw the ball. And when you're playing soft zone like that, you're going to get picked apart. You're going to get picked apart. I mean, that first down, that third and 9 first down was just straight up the middle on a soft zone play where he turned right around, just caught it 11 yards out, and it was just there's nothing you could do there. There was so much more you could have done. I mean, in that fact, but you're playing soft. You're not getting the QB to interrupt his throwing lanes, his throwing motion, getting him off his cadence, his rhythm. He's just going to take it all day long.
Yeah, I mean that was the big thing with the Jets today on defense. That was the big difference between both defenses. That Saleh, with his play calling in the secondary, it's man up. Williams is playing a soft zone. He's scheming. He's trying to scheme his way to try to bring pressure on the quarterback. But when the quarterback has all day to throw, he's going to find a receiver because the secondary is playing too soft. And it happened again a little bit later on. And the Jets, after the Jets' third offensive possession, Brett Perriman gets hurt. It starts a whole new pattern of injuries. And then on 4th and 1, they take that out. Frank Gore comes out. They bring in Josh Adams, and what do? Play action pass. No, they run up the gut, and Greg Van Roten blows his assignment.
Blew it
to the back on the Mac linebacker, and
he blew it terribly. I mean, Fred Warner blew right past him. Greg Van Roten would all he had to do was look straight ahead from where he was standing, and he would have seen Fred Warner there, and he could have blocked him. For whatever reason, Greg Van Roten went towards the interior next to the center and left that whole gap between himself and George Fant wide open, and was extremely late to react to Fred Warner just blasting right through it, able to wrap up Josh Adams without hesitation. It was just, and then the penetration they got on Gore on 3rd and 1, same thing. It was just the hole got opened wide open, just crazy. There was no push. They didn't put the defense back on their heels at all, and they squandered a prime opportunity to swing any momentum. And I think you kind of realized that really from that point that there was no point. I mean, any hope you were holding on to, it was gone as of that point.
Yeah, I mean, you in that situation, you can do a couple of things. You can do a couple of things without they were skimming. And Sam was starting to get a rhythm. He was starting to get a rhythm with the lack of receivers that he had, but he could still run a bootleg. He had that scramble for the first down in the previous series. He could have done a play action where he rolled out to the right and found an open receiver like Chris Hogan or Chris Herndon, who again is more and more he's disappearing.
No idea.
All right, so San Francisco gets the ball back, and they march down the field. Again, more 3rd down conversions given up by the secondary. Soft coverage again on 3rd and 2. Jets get a 3rd down penalty just like last week, and 49ers punch it in. Another touchdown. And lather, rinse, repeat. It's a 21-3 lead for the opposing team at the end of the half.
San Francisco didn't even look bothered by the Jets in any facet that whole time. While the Jets looked like they were just beating up themselves as much as they possibly could. It was really just more of a poor showing that's continued on now since through the end of last season in week 1. It's just been kind of really poor, just really, really poor.
Yeah, it's it's demoralizing. It's for sure. Especially the defense is playing, especially the front seven. They're playing their hardest. They're being let down by the secondary. The offense is being let down by their head coach. It's not a good scene. Not a good scene.
No, not in the slightest. And you just gotta wonder. You just gotta wonder now. How much longer does it go for? When do they actually make the drastic change that seemingly everybody else in the NFL football world can see coming?
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take for Chris Johnson and Joe Douglas to accept the writing on the wall and try to right the ship sooner rather than later?
Yep. So move on to the third quarter, and just get the offense first. You think, all right, we're gonna try to do some damage this time around. 3 and out.
Just like that.
Just like that, a 3 and out. And again, I comes back to the 49ers secondary on third down. Jets are running a screen, line of scrimmage pattern, and boom, there's a corner right there to make the tackle, and give it the ball.
I was just what is this? Like, where was any of the aggressiveness? Where was any aggressiveness from the offense?
There is none.
There is zero right now, and the Jets are so easy to play at this point in time that, and right now, unless they do everything literally different, I can't see Adam Gase making it through October.
No, it's going to be a sad scene. So Nick Mullins comes in at quarterback for San Francisco. The defense to continue the front three in this 4-3 scheme. They're doing the work. Quinn Williams gets another sack. He gets a forced fumble. They don't get the recovery though. That's what they needed at that point. They needed to get that. They need to get a turnover. So at that, they're starting to pin their ears back because the second quarterback's in.
Right.
And then comes the backbreaker. 3rd and 31. They give it to McKinnon. He runs 55 yards for the first down. What?
I mean, it was the same similar kind of play again. It was another toss, just this time to the left. And it was the Jets just unable to set any kind of an edge and not accounting for the speed that McKinnon brings to the table and just getting blown out by him. And again, I don't think he was touched until he got tackled. It was just
he got into the second level and he just kept going.
He released just the entire way through on 3rd and 31. It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. There's no excuses for it. They were playing for 4 to 5 yards just to try and gain a little bit extra room for their punter to blast it, and you actually let him have a first down and put him into the Jets territory. So
my reaction to that play was, I'm going to share my screen with you. So this is Chris Johnson currently right now in the owner's box. So this is fine, dog.
Yeah, that's it right there.
This is fine. This sums up the first 2 weeks of the season for the Jets.
Yeah, there's no issues in Chris Johnson land. Not at all. This is exactly how he drew it up with Joe Douglas and Adam Gase this season. So in his head, this is perfectly fine. Gase is a brilliant offensive mind. There's not an issue. He'll get over this.
Yeah. House is on fire and you're drinking coffee.
This is what brilliance looks like.
This is what brilliance looks like. Exactly.
This is what brilliance looks like.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I'll stop that. We'll continue on. So at least on that drive, the 49ers didn't score a touchdown. They got a field goal. They didn't score a touchdown.
They shouldn't have had anything at that point. So
no, it should have been a turnover.
Yeah, that should have been at the very least been a punt.
Yeah,
they should have had anything.
Yeah, if the Jets stop it, hypothetically speaking, this is Captain Hindsight speaking here. 3rd and 31, you allow probably no more than 5 yards to get that 5 yard false start penalty back, and put the ball, get some good field position. You start over again with the offense, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. So the Jets go, I don't know, they move the ball again, punt it back to the 49ers, and an interception by Pierre Desir, who had to come in because Quincy Wilson got hurt.
Yeah, just really was Desir being in the right place at the right time more than his actual play. That was just a kind of a slightly errant behind throw by Mullins to Jerick McKinnon, and the bounce off McKinnon's hands went straight to Desir.
Yep.
So good for Desir.
Almost took it back for a score too.
Yeah, good for Desir to get the interception, but that's not like he jumped a route and read the quarterback's eyes and a truly impressive DB play. That was more of just being in the exact right place at the
right time. Yep.
So he gets the credit, but he doesn't get full credit for like a defensive gem of a play.
Yeah. Yep. And then just take over inside the 20-yard line. They start to show some creativity with that nice end around by
Josh Malone.
By Josh Malone, his first involvement in the game, and then run up the middle, pass play for no yards, and then Sam throws a really good ball, and Chris Herndon drops it.
Herndon just couldn't keep it up. It was really an incredible throw by Sam Darnold that he's unfortunately going to get no credit for.
No.
Because it ultimately came in nothing. But that was a throw where only Chris Herndon could catch it, perfectly put right in Herndon's chest as he was going down, but he was a split second too late in reacting to the catch and letting it hit him right in the chest plate and falling incomplete. Because if that would have been completed, I mean, Sam Darnold, the credit he should receive for that throw should be insane. I imagine Barry Baldinger and Dan Orlovsky are definitely going to drop that replay of that throw in their breakdowns this week for Sam Darnold, because that was an excellent throw that he is going to get zero credit for.
Yep. And it's sad, and it leads to field goal.
Yes.
It's a laugh to keep from crying. Move to the fourth quarter, and again, the 49ers just keep shoving the ball down the Jets' throat. Run, short pass, run, short pass,
just
pass,
chunk.
Run.
I called it a chunk drive.
It's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
It was just 3 to 8 yards every play. It was just 3 to 8 yards every play, just chunkies. That's it, little chunkies.
Yep, and then roughing the passer penalty leads to the final dagger, which is McKinnon's touchdown. At that point, it's 31-6. Let's get the ball back, and then the offense comes alive. It's garbage time. If somebody writes a book, I'm going to write a book. That book is going to be called Garbage Time: The Story of the Adam Gase Era of the New York Jets.
I mean,
written by me.
That's more like the story of the career of Calvin Johnson.
Oh. Listen, Calvin Johnson got me lots of fantasy points while I was, in those years he had.
I won multiple leagues thanks to the Detroit Lions and Garbage Time to Megatron. So
yeah,
I think Garbage Time will always be associated with Calvin Johnson. It will always be associated with it. But the throw, the touchdown, by Sam Darnold on that drive was an insanely impressive throw of going against the body, leading the receiver. It was excellent. It was really a truly spectacular throw. It's just, at that point there, it's just way too little, too late.
And congratulations to Braxton Berrios, his first NFL touchdown. So cheers to you, bud.
You were long overdue, Double B. You were long overdue, buddy.
Yeah, good work by. I mean, he had some of those receivers. Chris Hogan was clearly Sam Darnold's favorite target today. Berrios had a pretty solid game. At one point, though, I saw a stat on Fox Sports that both the Niners and the Jets had the same amount of plays, but the Niners had over 100 yards more than the Jets.
it's again when
It's
you
offensive brilliance. He's a
yeah
brilliant offensive mind.
that's yeah exactly. I mean, that's two offensive minded head coach, but one actually knows what the hell he's doing.
Nope.
So there you go.
And one has personnel built has built personnel built around the quarterback who can fit into that system and work his thing.
Just Adam Gase and everybody can claim personnel all they want, but you got to be able to work with what you got. You're the coach. That's what you're paid to do.
Yep.
And right now you're doing as poorly as anybody's seen.
All right, so I want to let's see Jets video. Bring up something here that kind of embodies pretty much everything we've been saying. Jets fans have been saying for the last.
I knew I should have taken the 49ers though, 7.5. I knew I should have done that, but it's a good thing I didn't take the over/under because I would have swore up and down that there was no way they were scoring 41.5 points, and of course they score 44. So I would have lost that one, but the 49ers 7.5 must have been the safest bet of the week.
All right, I'm looking for the video where he basically I was somebody asked a question and I'm going and it sound all of a sudden just cut off. I'm like, why did it cut off? Why did it cut off? And I'm like, what's going on here? I found it. No, I didn't find it. Anyway, but he basically said, wait, I think I found it. Keep talking. Stall.
It's just the rest of the NFL has got to be laughing at Sam Darnold and the Jets right now. Bills Mafia especially after Josh Allen threw her. Josh Allen had a career high last week of over his first 300-yard game against the Jets. And then he comes out and has his first 400-yard game today against the Dolphins. And not only that, but did it looking spectacularly.
Here's another telling stat. Josh Allen has more yards passing today than Sam Darnold has this season in 2 games.
That 417 is just, crazy. Oh, God.
All right, let me show you the video. This is what he said.
I mean, are you angry? Are you embarrassed? What are you feeling right now?
I'm pissed right now. I mean, that's no fun going out there and getting your ass beat. So, I mean, we need to get better fast.
Well, yeah, you got to get better fast because your ass is out on the grass if you don't do anything about it here soon. Even then, it might be too little, too late for you at this point right now, unless you can get Sam Darnold and co to come out and just rocket fire for 28 to 30 plus points every week for the next 6 weeks. You might be too little, too late for the effort that's been shown through the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
And then they said, I mean, did you see the part 2 where they asked him, like, what was the play call he could have had? You know, does he regret not going for it on 4th and 7? And he said he didn't have any plays.
We had too many injuries.
Yeah, we had too many injuries. We didn't have a play that we could have called for 4th and 7. You didn't have a play you could call for 4th and 7.
Ridiculous.
No accountability. No accountability.
So I'm looking to see when was the last time Sam Darnold threw for 300 yards in a game. And that was last year against Oakland. He threw for 315 yards in week 8.
He
It was 20 at 29 for 315 yards. He had 127.8 pass rating.
That might be the last time. He might legitimately not cross that juncture again until past week 8 with the way things are looking.
I don't think
he might go full season without 300-yard passing.
I was going to say the same thing. He probably won't have a game at all this year where he throws for 300 yards.
Yeah, you can't be hopeful anymore right now, fan. You just kind of got to hope that you can just weather the storm.
He barely broke 100 today. He didn't get 100 yards passing until the 4th quarter.
Yeah, 104 I think he was 14 to 21 for 103 yards going into like the 4th quarter or something.
Going into garbage time.
It was pathetic. Yeah, and then he gets 72 yards on the final drive, and he ends with 173. Pathetic. Pathetic. You take away the final drive of today and Crowder's touchdown, and I mean Sam Darnold hasn't even passed for 200 yards passing.
All right.
Or
Well,
he's done just over. Excuse me. He's done just over 200 yards passing in 2 days. If you remove the last drive and Crowder's touchdown from last week.
ridiculous. Well, we got at least one fan out there. Our buddy Vince says keep up the good work. So
Thanks, buddy.
Well, at least we can do that. That's something we can control.
Yeah, that's about all we can control from here from when it comes to Jets World. We'll just keep doing our thing, Vinny. We need some more views.
We need some more views. We just need some more. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I need some more Twitter followers, man. I see a lot of these people that I don't think are very good at being Jets analysts at all, and they got way more followers than we do. And I'm not happy about it. I'm not going to name any names though.
Yeah, don't do that. We don't need the smoke.
We're too small for rivalries at the moment here. We'll pick on those guys later when we break like 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
Then start coming after them, stir up some Jets Twitter drama.
Well, that's the last thing we need, Dan. That's the last thing we need is more drama in the Jets Twitter world.
Jets don't know. Jets and their people don't know how to live in a world that's drama free. You got to bring in the drama, or else it doesn't feel normal.
Yeah, you got me there. All right, folks, we're going to end it here. It's almost 6 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks for joining us, all one of you who would join. That's probably from my my YouTube account. But I'll probably burn this and drop it to audio so we can get the immediate audio out sometime early this week, and you can listen to the audio version of it. So, Dan, any last words before we sign off?
Fire Adam Gase.
Oh, I'll do you one better. I'm starting a hashtag campaign on Twitter called it's hashtag Free Sam Darnold. It's not so much Fire Gase, it's Free Sam Darnold.
Either one. I don't care at this point. Either one.
All right,
Either one. You do Sam right by his career by not letting him go down the Jets sinking ship, or get rid of Adam Gase. One of the two.
One of the two.
One of the two. One of the two.
All right, everyone.
We'll bring down Sam at least.
Yeah. Save his career somehow. All right, or he'll go get booted to Canada.
Yeah.
Which is fine because you can sling the ball around there. It's a 110-yard field.
He can light up Canada.
Light it up. Hey, Doug Flutie went to Canada. Worked wondering for his career.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for myself. On behalf of Dan Goldstein, check out all our stuff on downtownsports.com. I wrote an article yesterday about why we should stop the tank for Trevor Lawrence talk. Unless you can play the receiver, don't bother. Check out our socials. Dan is at DTSN Jets Dan. As you can see his Twitter handle right there. We also have our Downtown Jets Twitter account and Instagram, as well as our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/DT Jets. For Dan Goldstein, I'm Ryan McCarthy. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, let's take flight. Don't try not to crash and burn.
Yeah.